Hey there, I'm Juliana, and this is Juliana Talks Films, the channel where I go through the process of producing, managing, and streamlining your short form content. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about what a producer is, what their various roles and responsibilities are, and how they fit into the filmmaking process. Stay tuned. So since this channel is dedicated to explaining the filmmaking process through a producer's lens, I thought it would be really helpful to explain what a producer actually does and how they function within the filmmaking process. Now, to be completely honest, there is no one clear-cut definition of what a producer does, and that's because there are several different kinds of producers that are just taking on different responsibilities as a whole. So what one producer might do might not be the same tasks or responsibilities or day-to-day functions that another producer would do. So depending on what area in film or entertainment or media you're in, and what specific level of a producer you are, then you're going to be doing different things, working with different people, and just having different day-to-day tasks. We'll go through the various types of producers in a bit, but for the sake of simplicity, a general definition of what a producer does is someone who oversees the entire process of making a film and making sure that the film is on budget, on schedule, and on brand, meaning that it's aligned with its creative and messaging goals. So think of a producer as a project manager. They're often taking care of the logistical, business, and legal aspects of getting a film made. Now, this video contains a list of producer roles that are traditionally found in the movie studio system, television networks, video or film production companies, and they typically just tend to be more traditional roles that you'll find in a system, in an actual studio system. But that's not to say that every producer or every studio system has the same hierarchy or same structure of how producer titles work. Okay, so now let's delve into the different types of producer roles and get a little bit more of a sense of what their responsibilities actually are. Executive producer / EP. An EP is the head honcho producer overseeing all of the productions in development. They're often the ones who will greenlight a production if they feel it's in line with the company's goals or the client's goals. They have a general knowledge of the status on all productions and are usually the ones executing the high-level business aspects of each film, such as negotiating the rights, they're locking down funding and distribution, they're attaching names to the project. Overall, their main focus is business strategy. So they are having the high-level conversations with every player and every person necessary that's going to help keep the business afloat, as in keep the studio afloat, and make sure that every production is meeting their revenue goals. A producer is the one taking on a project and running with it on a day-to-day basis. They're usually the ones sifting through screenplays and screeners and just literary works in general to try to find the best story or best creative concept to bring to life. Producers are in charge of getting a production off the ground and tend to stick with a project from the very beginning all the way through to the very end. Once they've decided on a script and it's been greenlit for production, the producer will begin assembling the resources necessary to make the film happen, which could mean bringing on writers to finish locking down the script or to rework the script in some kind of way. It could mean pitching the project to financiers and directors or bringing in other production partners to help actually make the film. Producers report directly to the EP and will work hand in hand with them to create a commercially successful film, all the while attempting to nurture the creative integrity of the film. Although their roles vary, the general goal is to manage their teams and make sure shit gets done on time and on budget. Associate producer. The right hand to the producer, the associate helps manage the daily communications and tasks for the production. So the producer will often delegate certain aspects of the production for the associate to drive, such as securing certain production needs like travel or transportation. And the associate will often be the line of communication between internal and external partners. The associates are also involved in the development process of looking for new content and keeping tabs on directors, writers, and actors. Associates might be tasked to run small or mid-sized productions on their own once they have a solid grip on the production process. Overall, they're high-level assistants breaking into the production role and working hand in hand with the producer to make sure that the day-to-day functions are running as smoothly as possible. Line producers. Line producers are the folks who oversee the preparation and filming during the actual shooting production. They work closely with the producer and associate to assure the logistical and creative needs of the studio or client are met. All the while, they also work very closely with the director, DP, and crew heads to make sure their logistical and creative needs are met and in line with the studio's goals. Line producers are in charge of any and all matters pertaining to the actual shooting portion of the film, so they'll often be the ones setting firm production budgets, locking down and adjusting the shooting schedule, and sourcing crew heads like gaffers, art department, wardrobe stylists, makeup artists, casting managers, location managers, and any additional keys needed for a particular shoot. They oversee all key heads on set and teeter between the above and below the line communications. Production manager, aka PM or UPM. I'm including the PM here because even though they don't technically have producer in their title, they're still responsible for running and managing the majority of pre-production duties of a shoot. Along with a dozen other things, PMs deal with the on-set legalities of working with actors and crew, making sure they're signing their timesheets, release forms, and making sure they're taking their lunch hours. They obtain the shooting permits for the locations, they source the shooting boards, they coordinate wardrobe fittings and prop management. They build and send out the call sheets, they book catering, they deal with all the little logistical on-set things that pop up last minute, like printing 100 new copies of the shooting board and script, or dealing with one of the exec's spotty Wi-Fi. PMs are literally the oil that keep the shooting production chugging. They work directly with the line producer to assure a smooth running of the on-set filming. So as you can see, responsibilities of a producer vary depending on what studio or company they're working with, what the budget of a film is, and just overall the general type of production that you're dealing with. A lot of times producers will put on many hats and take on several different roles like set designing or writing or actually being a co-director in order to get their project off the ground and running. But again, it all just depends on the budget and the setup of the actual film. So in the next video, we're going to be going through the filmmaking process or the life cycle of making a film and the various steps involved in getting a film from pre-production all the way through to delivery. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of this video, if there are any specific roles that you're curious or more interested in learning about. And if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more videos on a weekly basis, and I will catch you guys on the next one.